Hey everybody, welcome back to the Mystics of Texas. We're here going to be talking about today how certain books and certain beliefs are a spiritual placebo. Like you guys that have followed us, a lot of you know that we are have dived in a deep dive into the Bible, and we've also have our series on Marcus Aurelius, which is way different and, in our opinion, way better for a spiritual guide or to know yourself guide. And, you know, Mr. Schmidt, it seems like the further we go into the Bible, so many people don't know what is in it that just the idea of what they have been raised to believe it is, just the idea, just the sugar pill. This pill will help your heart problem. This pill will help your cholesterol. It will help your swelling, whatever. And you take that sugar pill, and all of a sudden you start to feel better. You feel good. That is what, in this country at least, I believe that the Bible is. They don't know what it is. They don't realize that they're getting no spiritual value inside that book just because they believe that the little cherry picked versions out of it are good. They can bridge that gap between this reality and the spiritual reality they want to connect with. What say you?
I think that you are 100% correct in that people have been duped into taking the placebo of spirituality. I think if people were to actually read the Bible or any of the other books, they would come to find out very quickly that whether it be really any of them, even the Bhagavad, the Indian religion, is all about war. Most of the holy books are all about war. They're all about death and they're all about destruction. You don't get any spiritualism from any of the quote holy books. Even if you go to the books of Rome, the books of Egypt, any of those books, there is no real spirituality in them. There is a great deal of servitude and how you can serve the people that are above you, whether it be the priest, which is very common in the first 5 books of the Bible. If you go to any of the relationships between the ancient religions, for instance, the Sumerian text, they believed that we were farmers farming for the gods. I mean, the whole garden is a prison if you look at the actual translation, which is no different than if you go to the Egyptian text. It was how to serve the priestdom and how to serve the people that are up in the upper echelons of power and to serve these gods, to keep people complacent. I like Napoleon's view on religion. It is a great tool to control the masses. And like you said, it is a placebo effect. There is a reason that priests got very upset when Gutenberg started printing his Bible. They don't want the book to be read, and rightly so. If you read this Bible or the Quran or really any spiritual book, it is not what you think it is. It's not what you've been told through Sunday school. It is different. And I encourage someone to think, if there's something after this, if they are having questions, first off, watch our channel. We do a great job of in-depthly going through the Bible, and we hope to do all the other spiritual books. But to really do a lot of the research yourself. Don't let somebody else do your thinking for you. Don't let a preacher stand up that you pay, whether it be through your donations, you pay them to give you the word. Don't do that. Do it for yourself. Don't be in the back seat in your own spirituality.
I think that is a good point because you, as we've discussed in some other videos, you are your own temple. It is your responsibility. It is our responsibility to look out for ourselves individually on the spiritual level and to help. There are some people that are really talented at helping with meditations or how to better put into perspective some of our self-reflections. This topic came about today, well, for a lot of reasons, but one, it was primarily a discussion I had with someone who I hold in high esteem. Like he's a friend. I think of him very highly. He's very. Whenever I was really active in business, we had done several business deals together. He's highly successful, and he was telling me how he goes to church and how I should consider accepting Jesus into my heart as a insurance policy. What do I have to lose? I find that as insulting. I think on so many levels, because you don't have to go deep into that to find how truly messed up that is. And we're going to get into that a lot in our New Testament discussions in the coming months when we delve deep into that. But to have somebody who spends a lot of time reading contracts, sophisticated and how to understand details in writing, to never have read the book. I point blank asked him, "Have you read it?" He says, "Well, yeah, I read it, when I go to church." And, no, that's not what I'm asking. Have you read it? Have you read it cover to cover? Not cherry pick, not every now and then I'll read a verse here and there. I mean, cover to cover. And the answer, I've never found anybody that has yet. And he says, no. All right. So in all aspects of your life, I think this goes into a lot of people. They're methodical, they're thoughtful, they handle their affairs in such a way that makes logical and emotional sense. And, their house is tidy. They wake up on time to get to work. They take care of their families. And then on Sunday, they go to church and they know nothing about the spiritual aspects except what they've been told, that have been cherry picked out of a book that they never have read. We're talking about eternity. We're talking about people that I know personally that are going to church, these Christian churches, and who are very highly intelligent people that have never written. They will go to great lengths to study a business deal, to read and understand what it means, because their family's financial security is on the line in these cases. They are making efforts to make their lives better, so they are well aware of all the details. But then when it comes to their eternal soul, nothing. Blindly taking this placebo, blindly taking in words that feel good to make me think I'm a good person. It just fascinates me and confuses me how so many people worldwide fall into that same basket as some of my friends that I have talked to recently. That is just baffling. Can you help clarify any of that for me, Mr. Schmidt?
I don't know if I can clarify it, but I can give a little parable or perspective on the matter. I think when something is very familiar to people, when they've grown up with it, they always assume that it's right. Like they know what's going on. The perfect example to me is when I stopped eating meat. And I would tell people, my friends, that how great some of these meat substitutes are. And the first question I ask is, well, what's in it? Well, what's it made out of? When they've never asked what the cows are fed that they eat, they don't know anything about what the cows are fed. They don't know their living conditions. They don't know anything about the cow. They don't know if they were pumped full of hormones or antibiotics or anything. They're just willing to take it because that's what they grew up with. They're willing to take that because it's familiar to them. So the placebo is familiar to them. It's like the scene in the Matrix. Are you going to take the red pill or the blue pill? One of the pills is the placebo that keeps you in the Matrix that you don't know. There's no asking. It's just familiar to you. And that's what people are comfortable with. if you have to really read an in-depth of this book, they don't want to do it because it changes the entire fabric of life and the entire fabric of society. Because, like you just said, you're having conversations with these guys that you've never had before because they just assume you felt that way and you assume they felt that way. Y'all were both taking the blue pill. Y'all didn't realize. But now, if you read this book, you're casting off the placebo. You're going into the in-depth research of, well, is this pill good for me? Why should I take this pill? What is in this pill? What does the spirituality mean? What does religion mean? Which is another really interesting point, is Christianity is not a religion. It is a faith, which is completely different. As I've said a couple other times in our videos, that religion is the culture, customs, and sacrifices that one does to honor their gods. That is religion, the ceremonies, the acts, and what you do. Faith is something completely different, which Christianity is blind faith. You don't do anything to honor your God. You put it all on that one guy, JC, Jesus Christ, that he did it all for me, and it's a laissez-faire. What they think of is religion. You don't have to do anything. At least in Catholicism, you have to give up for Lent. The modern Christian Baptist things, they don't do anything. If you're Muslim, that is a real religion. You have a whole set of dietary things that you have to abide by. You have to pray a certain amount of times a day. In Judaism, you have certain things that you do to honor your God. In this Christianity, there is nothing that people actually do. It's a faith.
That it just depends on which denomination of Christianity you subscribe to, and it goes back to the heart of what we're talking about, which we're going to get to and watch in our videos on the New Testament. But Jesus says you have to honor, he's a Jew. Let's not forget, he's a Jew. He honors the Jewish faith.
He does.
That is what he does. He's not saying change all your ways and let's not do the things of the old. No, he wants to do the things of the old. So being a Christian also means being a Jew. And that's not how that ended up being spun. But it is it's fascinating to me when really smart people are so methodical and just in general thoughtful, kind people, and have blindly take something that would be so critical to their being, the spiritual nature of who they are, and just take it from these people, these churches, these sermons, from they don't know what. They don't know. They don't know the basis of the whole religion. So, I guess they can't do that, most of them, because it destroys something that we believe in, the dissolution of the ego, and that is just they can't bring themselves to disassociate themselves with something they thought was true for so many years. Like you said with the fabrics, it does destroy the fabric not only of what the society, but the fabric of what they have always thought was true. It's kind of like whenever you're a beginner and your curiosities of history, and the more you dig deep into history, the more you realize most of the things you were taught about history was either a stretch or an outright lie, or a lot of it. And that is something with religion. It is baffling to me that we are in a way of thinking that we would allow other people to think for us in our spiritual manner, when the spirit of the human spirit dwells in each of us individually, and not in what somebody else is trying to tell us based on this book that you have never read. It's baffling to me, and that was really what I wanted to bring out in this video, in this discussion, and to know y'all's opinion about this, because It's something that is worth this worth bringing out, that we have so many millions and billions of people around the world that believe us or subscribe into a certain way of thinking, and they've really never fully read any of their books, and they don't understand what they mean. And and if you have a billion people, 2 billion, 3 billion, the whole 7 billion, whatever the number, all of us, um, if you read the books, the holy books of the major religions, you come to find out you need to reach inside of yourself and learn yourself, and not rely on propaganda that has obviously been spun to control masses.
Maybe that's the great takeaway of this exploration that we've done in the Bible and this video, is that you need to read all these things for yourself, and don't take the easy way out. Don't take the placebo, to really get in depth. And not that the books are going to give you anything spiritually, but after reading them, you will find and look into yourself for some kind of spiritual answers, because the spiritual answers that are provided, that are being placebo force given to you, or you willingly accept it, whatever the case may be, that maybe the great takeaway is that you get inside yourself and figure out who you are, because these books are all garbage.
Yeah, and that it's the nature of spirituality, and what we do here at our sanctuary is to learn ourselves, to find out the infinite through ourselves, not relying on somebody else's stated uh, beliefs based on a book that is pure evil. I've never known. It's been so. When I say eye-opening, it's just wow. All these things that we have found out and discovered, from dragons to God saying he is evil, from God saying he's happy with his evil. All these crazy, crazy things I would have never thought I would have read in the Bible. And then once you read them, you cannot unread them. You have read them. And then to visit with friends who also want to go to church and do go to church, to expand on their spirituality, but it's based on that is based on evil. So it's a placebo. The placebo still works for them, in that they are still reaching inside themselves, but on a very superficial level, some of them deeper. But it's not based on that book. It's the placebo effect of, oh, I'm getting my spirituality, but I have this imagined crutch on this. I'm still reaching out and doing disciplines with myself, working on being nicer and kinder, and working on establishing deeper and meaningful relationships. I'm doing all those things, but it's based on me being a Jew or Christian or whatever, which all those things you can do without that. The whole infinite intelligence, the whole nature of life is not anything that is written in that book. Nothing. So it's striking that information and the download of knowledge that you can just have on your own, and then coming together in groups like ours and in congregations like ours, where we strive to find the truth in our lost art of conversation, that I am happy to say is becoming more and increasingly more common through this technology that we are employing. But it's a fascinating thing to know that people are taking that one placebo to get to spirituality, and that placebo allows them just to pass and gloss right over the foundation of what they think they believe in, when in fact they're practicing something else.
They are definitely practicing something else. Really, the last thing I have to say on this is, placebos don't normally come with all the side effects that the actual drug comes with. So maybe people prefer a placebo.
Yeah, for sure. They don't have to fully examine themselves and their beliefs, and because most people don't like looking into the mirror, they don't want to do that. That is true. So, with that, I suggest, and what we do here is explore ourselves, know thyself, dig deep into the soul of who we are. And the only way to do that is to ask questions. Go over every topic of significance and relevance, um, which we do here regularly. And you can find many of our videos at mysticsoftexas.com. And I think this is one of those important topics that know what it is that you believe. Write it down. Talk about it. Bring it out. Spend time in those quiet places and learn the different forms of meditations and which one fits you. And so you can get to the place where you need yourself first and then allow yourself to flower in to all the connections that allow a real human connection.
I think it's really interesting what you said is write down your beliefs. And I think that's very important that people don't do. And people don't understand and realize that as you get older and you have more happen to you and you get more information, you don't realize how your beliefs can change. Not only change, but can tweak one way or another. So writing down your early beliefs as early as you can in life that you can go back in a safe place and examine them later on is very important. For instance, reading the Bible in college, I did not like it. I had a distaste for it, but I did not see the great amount of evils that I see now in my 30s. I've seen much more of life, and I can understand a lot more of why the world is the way it is because of the teachings of this book and all the other ones like it. I mean, only reading the Bible when I was in college, I didn't have, or I had not yet read the Quran or looked into the Bhagavad or any of the Eastern religions, or even developed meditation or understood what it was to see myself through my own eyes, that now I can look back in the past and see myself through the eyes of the past by having things written down. And I know in another 15 or 20 or 30 years, I'll look back on the work that I've done and that we have done here, and I can see it in a whole nother light and spectrum. And that's very important for your own self-examination, to skip out on the placebo, to actually invest yourself to find out more.
Yes, the placebo is so important in the terms of how we use it for everything. All new medications, all everything. It goes down to the placebo effect. How did the control group and this placebo work against the medication? And well, the placebo has a positive effect. Many people are cured from just a sugar pill or just some salt water because the mind says it's so. So if the mind says this Christian belief or Judaism or whatever, that's true, and I'm going to take what the preacher or rabbi or whoever tells me these are the practices I need to follow. So uh, it's the same thing. I'm going into this placebo. The placebo, the body can heal itself, and you can heal yourself falsely by taking a sour pill just the same. It's not sugar this time, but it's still a placebo, and the sour part would be the foundation of just a bunch of crap. But it still helps you kind of skip over and start to work on yourself, but you just missed out on the most important thing, which is self-examination and getting to the heart of the matter. And that's what I have to say. And we can join us on, of course, mysticsoftexas.com. We are at Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, and of course on YouTube. So just join us. If any of y'all have any particular comment you would like us, not comment, but topic you would like us to discuss, please send us an email. And of course, in all of our descriptions, we have a whole list of other places that are very valuable and that we think for just personal development. Just explore those, and if you got an interest in them, check them out. They're pretty fun. We're not related to any of them other than we enjoy watching them. So, with that, y'all have a good day.
Have a good day.